So today, it is the middle of October here in New York, and we finally have a freeze watch going on. So I've got to get really busy. I'm going to try to tape some of it. I'm going to be in a little bit too much of a hurry because I have to go to work this afternoon. And so that means I have a lot of things to get inside and protected if we're going to have frost. So things like this, my washi here, which is gigantic. I don't need to worry about this right now. I don't need to worry about most of my palm trees. I am going to bring the things in, the baby palms that are up on the deck, which is a lot, just because I know the deck will probably freeze because it's up high in elevation. But I'm going to grab what I can, pull out a lot of stuff, get it in the garage under the lights, get it under the patio, do everything I can, because after we get through the next 2 days, it looks like in New York, we're smooth sailing way past Halloween. So I always want to just keep everything out as long as possible. I especially want to leave the palm trees unprotected as long as possible, because once you cover them up, you don't get to look at them, number one, and plus I want to keep their season outside as long as possible. But the rest of the stuff, I just need to sadly give in and say, it's time, it's fall, it's October, it's time to go in. It's always the sad point. Actually, sadder is closing the pool down, which it's still open right now, because normally I can swim till the middle of October, but it's been really cool. So next week, the saddest day of the year, the pool closing will happen. So working on some of my cleanup here, getting ready for frost. I've already moved a lot of stuff, but I know a lot of people just cut their elephant ears down. I'm going to show you this variety right here. I cut down, it's very easy. I pull up the bulbs and or the tubers, and I put in a box. But when you have varieties like this one up here, and this was really small in the spring. I put it up against the fence just because I actually didn't have anywhere else to put it, and it grew really big. So now I don't really want to cut that back, because yes, it will come back, but I'm going to put it in dirt, and I'm going to show you I'm doing that with a lot of the ones I really, really like. But for this one here, like, I would just leave that. But this is a nice big variety, and then I have over here, I'm really liking that as well. So I'm going to dig that up and put it in a pot. Of course, this just takes up more and more space in my garage. And then while I'm over here, I just want to show you going up, up, up. This is one of my Madagascar castor beans, and it's probably a good 12 feet. And I grew this from seed in the spring. So my rule is by 4th of July, it's usually just below my knee, and I'm not very tall. I'm only like 5'8", 5'9". But if it does that, sorry about the train, you will get a nice, gigantic, big one. And we had a drought this year, so it's not quite as big as it should be. So in here I have some red bananas, or the Centes, I believe is what you call them. So I'm going to do they're mixed in with Musa Bastos, so yeah, I'm sure I would be called out on that. Anyway, I'm going to try several different things. These are really big. Like this one here is probably a good 8 feet tall. Didn't get gigantic this year, but I'm going to take a couple of them. Normally I cut the leaves off, I put them in pots, and I put them in my garage that has fluorescent lights. And I don't give them a lot of water at all. I barely even do anything to them until the spring, and then I start trying to get them going. But I'm going to actually follow some people's advice, and I'm going to cut all the leaves off, hang a couple upside down, and let them drain out all their water, and let them go completely dormant just to get them out of the way. So I'm going to try 2 different methods with them. I'm going to try that, and then my normal potting method that I've done for years and years and years. So hopefully something will be good with this. And over here I have some nice big elephant ears. These I'm just going to cut back to the ground and dig up the tuber, because that's not the variety. And these grow so fast anyway, and they're huge. I mean, look at my hand on this. This is just like gigantic. So that's a really big leaf right there. That's why they call it elephant ears. so much to do. I want to show you my staging area. Now is full of all of these to put in pots, because this is everything we want to preserve the height on. Got some work to do here. So it is October 18th in New York, 2022, and we are under a frost watch for tonight. So that means I have to rev up everything I'm doing, and luckily I've been pulling things in that have to go inside. So I want to show you, when you have a few too many tropicals, basically I've been pulling them out of the ground and repotting them. Some of them were in pots in the ground to go into my garage. So here's some of it. This is not all of it. My Ponderosa lemon, some of my non-hardy pomegranates, night jasmine, some trumpet flowers. There's a whole lot more up on the deck that has to go in, but hopefully I have a picture of what this looked like before in here. This is my lighting system in here. It's called the Poor Man's Greenhouse, and I'm basically just loading stuff in here, and I do it in rows. This is one of my grapefruits. The nice thing about the bird of paradise that are in the very, very back is that you really don't need to water them during the winter. I just give them a little bit of water, and they actually do pretty well. And I have another section over here on the other side of the garage that I put plants as well, but right now it's filled with structures for new palm trees that I bought this spring. So I'm a busy man today. I'm basically going to try to get in as much as I possibly can today, and then feel a little bit better. Not ready to deal with the palm trees yet. They should be fine. So one of the plants you have to make sure you bring in is a papaya. So this one has gotten a bit tall. It's about, I would say it's a good, it's probably at least 8 feet. I have a smaller one. You can cut them down, and sometimes they will come back if you're very careful. I have cut them and then put wax over the hole, and that seems to do better when I do that. This one I'm going to try to bring in. The main thing with this is spider mites. Spider mites love these things. You just have to constantly check them. It's not always my favorite plant, but I don't know, I have a problem with letting things die, so it's definitely coming in. I'm getting there, at least for today. It's always sad when you think, okay, I gotta pull in this passion flower. It's about to bloom, but you have to go inside because it's just too cold tonight. So I'm gonna actually take my jasmine in. This would probably be okay tonight. Maybe not the mandavillas, but the mandavillas, mandavilla, I think. But that I definitely don't want to leave out in the cold. So it's starting to fill up, but I still have so much more to do. But I'm getting the bulk in for tonight, so hopefully all will be well. So this is everything I brought in. Got my plumerias, my Washingtonias, my dates, my baby windmills. Of course, most of those could probably handle, well, not probably, they would handle frost. They would handle cold. But I don't want to chance it. It says 33 degrees tonight. It could go colder. If I can bring them in, why put them through it? Over here I have my bottle palm that I've had for a couple of years. It's really starting to grow. More dates and Washingtonias, a few yuccas, and more windmills. A Bismarck over there. I have a ribbon palm, Cuban royal palm. But anyway, these are all in, safe from the frost. So it's the next morning, the sun is coming up, and after all that work, there is just really no frost out here. Maybe just a tiny bit. See everything now. foyer swimming. Everything is pretty good. Olive tree over here. It's fine. There's just nothing on any of the plastic. This is one of my cactuses I covered up over here. But yeah, it's just a beautiful morning without frost, but I'm ready. We're gonna have another cold night or two, and then we warm up, which allows me to get a lot more done. And everybody like and subscribe. Hopefully these are helping, or at least interesting what some crazy person in New York is doing with tropical plants.